There's a lot of room for interpretation. Christy Noam, her. So the secretaries can set the priorities for the department, but they can't actually tell us what to do. We don't agree with those priorities. There's a lot of room for interpretation in terms of how we interpret what those priorities are.
Meet Brandon Wright, a platform services manager for the Department of Homeland Security. Brandon Wright states to our undercover journalist how he will defy Kristi Noem's orders. Wright also said he won't let Kristi Noem get in his way.
The truth is, we don't let them get in our way.
Okay, good.
You're hearing like the real talk from like, we don't let them get in our way. And frankly, that's actually, I would argue, I'm not even being an asshole, I would argue that's my job. You know how a septic tank works? So it like catches all the shit and like filters it through rocks and then sand and everything. There's a lot of layers like that in government.
Okay.
And by the time the actual marching orders get to like me and below, we can filter it in a way that steadies the ship.
The official at DHS discloses how GS-14s and GS-15s at the DHS will defy Noem's orders and how they will disregard her agenda.
I feel really, really bad for all the 15s because they have to deal with the crazy shit. And it's not easy. Because like I said, when it's like the crazy person comes in and tries to steer, they have to like work really hard to like steer. A lot of ass kissing. I'd be like, oh, what a great idea, Secretary Noem. Well, but what if we did this? I think your idea would be even better if we did it like this.
The DHS official tells our OMG undercover journalist that DHS could fall on Kristi Noem's head and she wouldn't recognize what it is.
She doesn't know her ass. The Department of Homeland Security could fall on her head and she wouldn't recognize what it is. Kristi Noem doesn't know shit.
Meet Brandon Wright, a platform services manager for the Department of Homeland Security. Brandon is a civil servant and a GS-14 employee. Brandon has been employed at DHS for the first Trump term, the Biden administration, and now the second Trump administration. GS means General Schedule and is a federal pay scale that has 15 grades. GS-13 to GS-15 are mainly top-level technical and supervisory positions.
So my title is I'm the platform, it's not James Bond, but it's Platform Services Manager, which is way less sexy. I'm a full-time civil servant, but I don't work for the State Department. I work for Homeland Security. I was here during Trump's first 4 years. I work for what's called HSIN, the Homeland Security Information Network.
Okay.
We're like Google tools for Homeland Security law enforcement. My role is, I don't know what you know about IT, but I'm a product manager. Most days my job feels really f***ing boring. Like I just sit on some meetings and like look at spreadsheets and PowerPoint decks and talk in meetings. Fortunately, my bubble is far enough away that I don't get thrown into that too much. The people who, because I don't know, there's 15 levels in the government, it's service. So like the 15 is the highest. It's called GS. You'll hear people in DC, you'll hear people talk about this all the time. GS stands for General Schedule. But that's like the level you are in government. So I'm 14.
Oh, wow.
The 15s are the people that like are at the White House doing stuff like, so like I report to those people. Like I only rarely will I like go to the White House or something. Or sometimes, but like rare. Because the 15s are the highest level. They're the ones who interact with all the appointees.
Yeah.
I'm the one who makes all the reports and does all the work for the 15s.
Okay.
And then like gives them, and so like, and I mean sometimes I do meet with the White House administration people too. And so at some point, I would like to, that would be promotion. I would like to get promoted at some point, which would be great. But like, for now, if Harris had won, I would have been like stepping on the gas to get promoted.
Brandon Wright met with our OMG undercover journalist last week to vent his hatred about Trump-appointed DHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
So I was looking up, because I remember that you worked at DHS, so I was trying to do some homework,
Yep.
and I looked up who was coming in, like, Trump is putting in charge. She's nuts.
Kristi Noem. Her. You want to know what my favorite thing about Secretary Mayorkas, the last one, was? He gave us a ton of bonus vacation. No way Kristi Noem's going to do that. No.
You don't think so?
No, she's going to be like, you. Because that's the thing. Trump is picking people that hate us. But that's what he wants. He wants people. He wants conflict.
The DHS official tells our OMG undercover journalist that DHS could fall on Kristi Noem's head and she wouldn't recognize what it is. He also stated that Kristi Noem, quote, doesn't know her ass, and Kristi Noem doesn't know shit.
Tell me what you hate about her.
She doesn't know her ass. The Department of Homeland Security could fall on her head and she wouldn't recognize what it is. Kristi Noem doesn't know shit. So to say that like I am not excited about this would be the most epic understatement.
Okay, but when you have somebody that's crazy, like the
I'm
job
glad
that
you were
you
able
have
to
is
recognize
so
that about her by researching her. You get that's a green flag for me.
Sound good.
We're on the same page.
We asked Brandon Wright on the undercover meeting what he is going to do when Kristi Noem is the boss. Wright told us that, quote, the secretaries can set the priorities for the department, but they can't actually tell us what to do. Wright also said he won't let Kristi Noem get in his way.
So the secretaries can set the priorities for the department.
And she's the secretary?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they can't actually tell us what to do. So do you want to know the truth? Remember when I told you, like on the calls, like the people who are actually in charge are the permanent civil servants?
Right.
The truth is, we don't let them get in our way.
Okay, good.
You're hearing like the real time from like, we don't let them get in our way.
Brandon Wright, the official at DHS, discloses how GS-14s and GS-15s at the DHS will defy Noem's orders and how they will disregard her agenda, saying there's a lot of room for interpretation.
I feel really, really bad for all the 15s because they have to deal with crazy shit. And it's not easy. Because like I said, when it's like the crazy person comes in and tries to steer, they have to like work really hard to like steer. Yeah. A lot of ass kissing. I'd be like, oh, what a great idea, Secretary Noem. Well, but what if we did this? I think your idea would be even better if we did it like this. And like what they're proposing is the better idea. Yeah.
Well, let's say she doesn't take their idea and she's like, no, I want to be crazy. Is there like something you can do about that, or?
It's very complex, and in some ways it's very stupid. So, but they can set the priorities. I would put it to you like this. If we, especially the 15 leaders, but even going down 14 and everything below, we don't agree with those priorities, there's a lot of room for interpretation in terms of how we interpret what those priorities are.
Brandon Wright states to our undercover journalist how he will defy Kristi Noem's orders, stating that when marching orders from Noem reach him, he can filter them, drawing an analogy to that of a septic tank. And as it goes through the layers of government, he will defy those orders.
You know, something like it.
It holds like sewers, right?
Sewer, yeah, but it's like a private lot, and it starts off with like a bunch of layers of like rocks, and there's like different layers of rocks, so it like catches all the and like filters it through rocks and then sand and everything. There's a lot of layers like that in government, and by the time the actual marching orders get to like me and below, we can filter it in a way that steadies the ship.
So you can like interpret it in a way that makes more sense.
Now you're thinking in the right place.
Okay.
As long as they don't cut our budget, again, that's the number one thing they can affect is our budget.
Okay.
If they cut our budget, that's that. We can be screwed. If our budget goes away, we're f***ed.
Wright also describes how his transgender colleagues are freaking out because Kristi Noem has been appointed to DHS.
With her being as conservative as she is, I'm like, okay, what if there's people that work like in your team, or maybe there's like a 15 or something? What if they're neurodiverse or LGBTQ?
Yeah.
Like, do you think she's gonna target them or like try to make their lives worse?
That's actually a really good question. The biggest thing this administration is super anti-trans, and so like having a trans, we've got a lot of trans people. They're freaking out. My trans colleagues are freaking out.